It was 2015. I, an avid fan of both popular and indie films, was of course excited to hear that one of my favorite directors, Davis Mears, had just made a new movie. And what's more, it was all him, for he was the director and nobody else. This film, of course, was Knock Knock. Possibly Mears' greatest accomplishment in his long line of great direction with Avis Media. See, Mears isn't just any director. He's a genius, a mastermind of subtlety that infuses hidden meanings and connections into his stories. Upon first viewing of Knock Knock, one might see inconsistencies, things that don't make sense or don't add up. But for one with no life, such as me, after the 23rd viewing of Knock Knock in one sitting, these inconsistencies start jumping out at you, taunting you to look closer and discover the dark secrets lying within. Let's start, as we should always, at the beginning. As the movie crew arrives at Kevin's house, Davis's character, named Davis, takes charge, showing that, even in the film's universe, he is the only director. Davis states that the prop the group needs is a hammer. Remember that. That is very important later on. Now, as any true Mears fan would realize, this very scene itself is very off and unorganized, a jab at all the other directors that think they can run a scene without the legendary Mears himself. As Amy goes to the bathroom, a loud scream is heard. The crew then discovers Amy's dead body. But what was she killed by? Jordan and Davis arrive back after the crew has returned, wielding the hammer that they went out to seek. When Jonathan, Davis, and Zach go to film the next scene, Jordan takes the hammer with him into the room. When too much time has passed and the group goes looking for the others, the search party finds the hammer next to Zach's jacket. The very same hammer Jordan had with him when the crew left to go filming. Interesting. While leaving, we see the supposed killer, hidden from view, walk by and pick up the hammer. But we then see the hammer in the house in the very next scene. How did it get there? Clearly the killer must be someone that has access to the house. But who? Alex runs out of the house, causing Allie to follow. Why did Alex run? Why would he not answer her calls? Allie then sees the murder in front of her wielding the hammer. Very interesting. Do you see everything coming into place yet? When Alex returns upon hearing Allie's scream, it's with a very nonchalant attitude that he suggests the crew looks for her to check on her. Upon entering the woods, Alex says that the crew should split up to cover more ground. As Alex ventures forward, he hears a hammer sound, and immediately shoots towards it, trying desperately to live. He then runs out of ammo and dies. We see Jordan next, huddled on the ground, muttering about salvation, as if he has turned insane. He then takes the hammer from next to Alex's body and finds Claire and kills her. Jordan falls to his knees and laughs maniacally, his friend murdered by his own hands. While laughing, the real killer comes up to Jordan and kills him while he laughs. Is this the end of the story? No. There is something much more sinister at play. What is the common theme that all these deaths have? The weapon was a hammer. Mears is all about this type of theming, building his films into works of art, beautifully tying together plot points and characters. So then I will once again ask, what was Amy killed by? Well, if you've been paying attention, the answer should be obvious to you. She was killed by the same hammer that felled all the others. Do you think that it's a mere coincidence that Jordan and Davis were buying the hammer while Amy was murdered by that hammer? A mistake? You're wrong. Mears doesn't make mistakes. This was an intentional point. So, we figured out that Jordan and Davis were buying the hammer as it killed Amy. Great. Now what? I looked deeper into the storytelling that Mears was trying to get us to see, and discovered something deeper and darker than we could have ever realized. What if I told you Jordan was the killer? Crazy, right? For he was clearly killed by the real killer at the end. See, Mears tells complex stories with many layers to them, and what's been right under our noses this whole time was, of course, that there's more than one killer. Who are the other killers? Davis and Alex, of course. See, these murders are too complex, too thought out to be the work of one man. No, these murders were from the minds of three twisted individuals. Davis, Jordan, and Alex, our murderers, were all in a cult, worshippers of a demon god that requires sacrifices. The trio used the 50-hour film competition to lure their victims into their sacrifice forest. Davis and Jordan killed Amy before they returned to the house, and Alex diffuses the situation, telling the others they shouldn't call the cops until Monday. Why would he suggest that? Unless he was a killer too. Later, as Davis lures Jonathan and Zach into the woods, he realizes he forgot the hammer, so he has Jordan bring the hammer. This is even hinted at when Jordan calls Davis's name, for he knows that Davis is the one still alive. During the confusion of the search, Jordan passes the hammer to Davis, who has Jonathan and Zach restrained. Davis kills the two, and tells Jordan where to find Zach's jacket and leaves the hammer there. After this point, it is seen that Jordan starts to go insane. But I argue that he was insane the whole time, and now is simply not hiding his worship of the demon god. The hammer is dropped, and Davis picks it up before handing it off to Alex, who brings it to the house. Alex runs out of the house, luring Allie, who is then ambushed by Davis, who was given the hammer by Jordan, who also went out during Allie searching for Alex, claiming to also be looking for Alex. After Davis kills Allie, Alex and Jordan come back, and Alex says that the rest of the crew should search for Allie. Jordan, Alex, and Claire go into the forest. They split up, and Jordan is seen putting up his hood with an evil look on his face. Davis knows that Bob and Kevin have left, meaning he is 2 sacrifices short of his goal, and knows where to find the other 2 victims. Alex is then seen exploring the woods when he hears a hammer. Alex realizes that this can only mean Davis is betraying him, and he tries to fight back against him, but misses every shot. Jordan hears the hammering and shots fired in the distance and knows what has happened. Jordan is then seen praying to the demon god for salvation before grabbing the hammer to make a sacrifice to the god. Jordan kills Claire and then begins to celebrate, as his job is done. He has made a sacrifice and believes he has found salvation at last. In the final scene of the movie, we see Davis pick up the hammer and betray his last partner, finishing his sacrifice at last. Mears wrote this movie to appear less than it seems, but his true genius in storytelling can still be seen if you look hard enough. Does he think we're stupid? Did he think we wouldn't notice?
Cracker Barrel sucks, dude!